I have been a lawyer for over 40 years, and let me tell you something. If you find yourself in the system and you're at the wrong end of the system, you are screwed. And if you're mentally ill, if you have a substance abuse, or if you happen to be real rich and have a lot of money, and you have unscrupulous family members or friends who want to swoop in like vultures on some rotting carcass and carry it in the middle of the field, you're doomed. Wendy Williams is in the crosshairs. Now, we have to talk about things first, and we must always remember a couple of things. First, you and I are not privy to what's really going on in the case. This thing's been going on forever, and all of a sudden we're jumping in at the last minute like a lot of these TV lawyers do, and they don't know anything about what they're talking about. So we can talk about things kind of in general, but nonetheless important. Wendy Williams is being labeled as crazy, substance abuse, out of her mind, and now we have this progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, or FTD. Okay? And once you say that, that's it. She's gone. And then what you do is you watch TV, and they'll bring out, we're talking to neurologist, Dr. Whatever it is, Hiram Ledbetter from Mount Sinai Hospital. Dr. Ledbetter, what is progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia? Well, that's a progressive. And this person is trying to score points, so this person will be asked back on TV and maybe get a gig as the new medical correspondent. Who knows? I'm not suggesting that they're making this up, but I would think they would say, I've never spoken with Ms. Williams. I have no idea. I'll tell you what it could be. That's like me saying, what is cancer? Well, it could be stage 1, stage 4. It could be, glioblastoma versus testicular. I mean, there's a certain range here. But understand, and when it comes to the media, the first thing they want to tell you is that she's cray-cray because we love this. We're ghoulish the way we pick on people who are crazy or demented or act weird. And when it comes to Hollywood, by the way, look at some of the people in the past. Robert Downey Jr. I'm not saying he was crazy, but he had some spells with substance abuse and the like. He's doing terrific now. Remember Margot Kidder, Amanda Bynes, walking around, and we love this. Look how crazy they are, and let's put them on Instagram. But look how nutty she is. She's crazy. She needs help, while we gawk at her. Now we've got Wendy Williams, Britney Spears, Brian Wilson. He now has been diagnosed with some, again, we don't know, but some form of dementia or Alzheimer's or what have you. Don't forget also Cher was talking about it in reverse, I believe, for her son, Elijah Blue. I don't know where that's going. So we're hearing about this. So we tend to be vultures ourselves with the notion of people in the media. And whenever we see mental illness, we still are medieval about it because we love crazy people. And we love the way they act. And we love the way they talk. And Wendy Williams looks really crazy because she has apparently Graves' disease or proptosis or exophthalmos. She has these bulging eyes, which is from hyperthyroidism or some type of thyroid disorder. But it adds to the crazy look. So in the midst of this, she's telling people, look what they're doing to me. She's got this ex-husband. She's got this niece who all of a sudden pops up out of nowhere, who happens to be perhaps pushing her own individual career in the media. Not that this disenables you from commenting, but always understand the motivation. Cui bono, qui prodest? Who benefits from this? Always ask that question. Now, conservatorships, guardianships. Oh, and by the way, the best part is there was a lawsuit that was filed by the Guardian, identified as Sabrina Morrissey, and she filed a lawsuit Thursday, before the planned premiere of Lifetime's new documentary, Where is Wendy Williams? Okay, now it's Saturday, tomorrow when I'm recording this. Or tomorrow from Friday when I'm recording this, you understand what the hell I'm talking about. Now, why is she doing this? Well, it might be, I would hope, to prevent her from being victimized or from being harmed or embarrassed, or it might be to prevent the public from understanding the problems involving guardianships and conservatorships, right? I mean, that's the deal. It may be because of that. Who knows? It's fascinating. Now, this is the interesting thing. We don't know. And I don't mind telling you when I don't know something, or when I'm guessing, or what my hunch is, and that sort of thing. But let me tell you, look no further than Britney Spears. And let me also tell you something, that out of the, I don't know, who knows how many guardianships, I'm sure the majority are fine. I'm sure they actually help. How many of you have one of those durable family powers of attorney or power of attorney, and you have health proxies and all of this stuff? Do you really know? Do you really understand the limits of these things? When you give somebody a power of attorney, and I'm not saying that these are bad. Please, I'm not. But when you tell somebody, here, act in my best interest, how do you undo that? How do you do this? For 40 plus years, I've been involved in the legal systems, and when it comes to mental illness, let me tell you something, it is medieval. And I've seen people who have been involved in, we used to call them Baker Acts years ago, involuntary commitments for 24 hours and up to 72 without a hearing, if you're a threat to yourself and others. A lot of times this is terrific. But once you get in, and once you're there, and once you're into a system, and let's say you're like you're Wendy Williams or Britney Spears, and you're saying, look, I may not be the paragon, the Mount Rushmore of sanity, but I am not a danger to myself or others. I am not in any way out of my mind. I'm not. I mean, there is a range. My God, do you recognize when it comes to Hollywood and entertainment, the people who are walking around out of their tree who never had conservatorships and guardianships? I mean, listen, have you ever watched Bob Dylan? Remember when Jim Morrison was in the height or throes of his problem? I mean, do you want to go through this? You want to go to actors and actresses? There are people right now, think about them, who go nuts, who are crazy. But what happens is sometimes they get stuck into the bear trap of this. And let me also say again, I cannot reiterate enough, these have wonderful potentials to help people who need them, to be able to sit there and to collect funds and to make sure that people's affairs are in order and to help out and to file accountings with courts and to act admirably and to really help out and to say goodbye once the situation is over. But let me ask you something. If you're getting 50, 75, 100 and a half, whatever it is, an hour to be the guardian, let's say it's a big, it's a pretty good deal, and you've got to hire up forensic accountants, and you've got to do all kinds of stuff, and maybe you might not want to do that. Maybe you might not want to hire those people who might find out that, this person's okay. So you cut back on that because you want to keep the gig and keep the money. I'm just saying, if you're unscrupulous, not that they are, but if you wanted to be. And then you go to court and you have this, let's say a Britney Spears or a Wendy Williams, who says, help me, I'm out of here. Yeah, right, she's crazy. Your Honor, may I remind the court why I was appointed in the first place? Because she's out of her mind. Of course she's going to say this. Of course she's going to say, leave me alone, I'm not crazy. That's what crazy people say, right, Judge? Well, again, you got to ask yourself, let's assume there's this, I don't know, this range from 100% normal, whatever the hell that means, all the way to Just nuts. Bat crazy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The S word? You know what I mean, right? Anyway, lunatic, hospitalizable. Okay, really nuts. Where can you go on that? How crazy can you be before you have not abnegated, abandoned all ability to maintain your own power, your own sense of control, to be powerless, to have no say about anything, nothing, where you go, where you stay. You're reduced to a child status. You probably had more, put it this way, you probably had in some cases more freedom as a child with a parent who suffered from the risk of perhaps being charged with child abuse than you do once you look crazy. And when you have that picture of Wendy Williams walking around without her wig and her eyeballs bugging out, those proptosis, those Graves, the syndromes, that Graves' disease, that exophthalmos, and she's looking at this, and she's looking just scared, and maybe she is drug-addled or alcohol-addicted. When did she traverse so far that she just, where you must take her freedom to save her life? Because once you're there, the ex-husband, this guy, wait till you find this out. They start just swarming about. There they are, the vultures. They can smell it. It's perfect. As long as you are profitable. Look at Britney Spears. That case is just, let's say you've got a cash cow. Let's say for some reason, not that there's any reason to believe, but let's assume that Taylor Swift all of a sudden goes crackers, all right? Are you going to say, it's time to take her off the road? It's time to... No. You as an unscrupulous conservator or guardian, you're going to say, oh, no. We're going to go out. We're going to have a residency in Las Vegas, and we're going to write books and stories and that. And how do you undo it? How do you undo it when you have a system that has declared the person kind of nuts? Are you going to appoint a conservator or a guardian to represent the person in the guardian, and then that person smells blood in the water and wants a piece of that? Look, I'm telling you, may you never be at the wrong end of the judicial stick, whatever the hell that means. May you never be charged with a crime. May you never be in a nasty divorce. May you never have a child custody. May you never be a part of a termination of parental rights, a TPR. Oh, dear God. May you never have your parents' abilities questioned. I can't tell you that. May you never fall within the crosshairs or the red dot targeting of some overzealous CPS worker who thinks you're doing a bad job. Oh, I mean, look, God bless the system, and there have been people whose lives have been saved, but it is so potentially rife with abuse. And I'm glad we're hearing about this now. So anyway, dear friends, what do you think about this? Do you know anything like this? Have you yourself ever been a part of this? Have you had a pesky neighbor call the cops on you, maybe the way you treated your kids or you spanked your kids? Or in one case, I represented somebody, this kid was losing weight, and they took the kid away claiming failure to thrive, or it was some kind of a lower GI. I mean, it was horrible. And once they look at you, and once you have the stigma of either child abuse or mental health, a lot of times, like sex abuse registries, that sticks with you forever. It's not that you've been adjudicated incompetent, but pretty close to it. You think that might affect one day your ability to possess a firearm, run for office, huh? Hold certain professional licenses, get a top secret clearance, or who knows? And with a social credit score next, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. We're going to be talking more about this. So please do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment as you see fit.